Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Raylan. This is
Mackenzie.
and today's episode is episode 9.
Is it really?
Yes, cuz last time we did the 4 posts.
Oh yeah. That's
Today
crazy.
is episode 9 and this episode is titled Dating 101. So we're just going to we talked about dating and marriage and situationships before. This one is solely talking about dating. In this day and age, which is kind of crazy.
So scary.
So we'll get into the nitty gritty. So, what's first on the list?
Okay, our first part of the list, I guess, is no-nos when liking someone. What not to do.
Okay. Don't act like you're dating. don't act like you're dating.
I agree.
Because when you're liking someone, like, I feel like, okay, there's a difference between liking and talking. And if you're like acting like you're dating and you're like obsessive,
That's really scary.
when you're liking them, no.
I agree.
No,
also,
no.
with that, don't assume the other person likes you if they have not told you. Because
Are you speaking from experience?
no, not from my experience. from things I've witnessed. Don't assume people like you, because that's how you scare them away. Because I've seen some people be like, yeah, we're like practically dating. And then you ask the other person, they're like, I don't even like them.
I don't know them.
Yeah. And then now you know your friend's crazy. So you don't want to be that friend.
Exactly. Yeah, I would say, like, know the line.
Yeah.
Like, know your place. Because if it's just, that sounds so bad, but if it's
No, I
genuinely,
agree.
like, just a crush, or you just liking them,
Yeah.
you need to know the difference between, like, they're your crush and they're your boyfriend. Because I knew this one girl that really liked someone. Not me.
Okay.
I'm like, I knew this one girl. But, like, she liked this guy and was, like, expecting so much from him. And was like, why is he talking to other girls? You're not dating, and he did not confess to her.
I agree. Because I think you can't expect to be exclusive if you don't even know the other person likes you.
Yeah.
Like,
And
guys, that's my man.
you need to
Does
have,
he know that?
literally, you need to have a sit-down conversation and be like, hey, are we talking or are we not?
If there's no clarity, there's nothing. Like, just don't even act on it.
Assume because you seem crazy.
You seem crazy.
Yeah. But it's understandable. When you like someone, it kind of does something to you.
I agree.
I'm not saying that.
I think you just have to be reasonable when you're approaching your crush.
Yes.
Because, like, if you let yourself get a little too ahead of what's, like, actually happening in real life, that's where the problem comes. But if you're just being reasonable, obviously you can like people, you can be a little delusional. Delusions are fun. But if you get to the point where you, like, genuinely believe that, like, he's in love with you and you've spoken once in your entire life. Guys, he said, excuse me, I think he wants me. To be honest.
I would do that as a joke.
Yeah.
But if I'm genuinely believing... What are you doing? Please.
A little bit scared.
Be real. When is Delulu not the Salulu?
When it gets above the point, like, where you're thinking more delusionally than you are, like, realistically. Because I feel like if you have a crush and you're like, oh, he's so cute, we talked a lot during class today, it might not mean anything, but it was fun for me. That's fine. But if it gets to the point where you're, like, telling your friends, we talked so much, he was flirting with me, he touched my hand, like...
And he's passing you a pencil?
Yeah. He got my calculator for me in class. Like, guys, like, please. Especially if he's your friend already.
Yeah.
And he already did that before you liked him.
Yeah.
You can't suddenly switch up and be like, this means something all of a sudden.
No.
Just be realistic.
No. Any other no-nos?
This is going to sound really bad. Don't put too much effort in before anything's actually there.
That's valid.
It's like that one thing that people say online. It's like, is he playing hard to get or are you playing hard to get rid of? Like, it's really like, if you're being hard to get rid of, that's where the problem comes in. It's fine to, like, flirt with them and be like, oh, like, try to get them to know you like them.
Yes.
But if you're putting way too much in and, like, you're, like, buying them, like, gifts like you're dating already.
Showing up to their house.
Yes. Like, if you're, like, claiming him as, like, your man already. Like, if other girls meet him and, like, oh, like, are you guys dating? And you're like, basically... No, you're not. Let's get real.
He has to know.
Yeah. He has to be aware of it before you start telling people.
He has to know. A no-no when liking someone.
I can't think of anything else. I think that's my majority.
Don't ever, like, compete. If
I agree.
you have... Oh, and also, if a guy has to pick between you and another girl,
if there are options,
it should never be an option.
Quit. Just quit.
Quit. You're done. That's a no-no.
Especially,
you're done. Goodbye.
I think it's weird, especially when he tells you, because if in his head he's just confused, like some people just have like brain fog sometimes.
Yeah,
then it's okay to be like, oh, I don't know, like they're both kind of giving me attention. Like I don't know if I like both of them or if it's just like
I like the
attention.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think. But if he's telling you like, I like both of you, like I don't know who I'm gonna pick. Pick? This is not how this is working. Actually,
we're not. What is it called? Strawberries. That's all I could think of when picking.
You said what's it called? Like you had something really good in mind. You're like,
oops.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a thought and then it completely like vanished out of my brain. But yeah, I think that's the consensus. Just don't be weird.
Yeah.
Oh, don't let it like rot your brain. If all you can talk about is the guy that you like, your friends aren't gonna want to be around you anymore.
Yeah, no.
Just find a balance. It's okay to tell people like, hey, like, oh, like I just got out of class with him. But if every single second you're just talking about a man,
is it worth it? Is it ever worth it?
Because your friends probably don't care.
Like, if you're just liking the guy, like, understandable. But if it's, like, some guy who's not even, like, all that.
Yeah. No. Like, he's barely giving you time of the day. And you're talking about him 24/7?
Oh. And he can't even text you back.
Right. Like, your conversations about him are longer than your conversations with him. That's embarrassing. You need to get it together.
That's so true.
That's really horrible, but I stand by it. Yes. Okay. When you like someone, like, one of the questions I think you need to ask, like, yourself, is this person, like, worthy of being with you?
Yes. Worth.
Yes.
Know your worth before you decide if someone is worth your time.
I agree. I also think it's very weird to be like, he's so out of my league. He shouldn't be, though. Because if you, as a person, are, like, who you want to be as a person, like, if you are trying your best in school, you're putting your back into your schoolwork, like, you put your back into, like, your self-care and stuff, there should never be a situation where you feel like someone's out of your league, because now that's, like, a power trip.
It's, like, you can admire them and, like, adore them, but if you're, like, they're so, like, out of reach for you.
Yeah. That might be telling about your type.
Yeah.
And I think if someone ever makes you feel like you're out of their league, that's also weird. Like, if a guy ever makes you feel like he's, like, the catch, and, like, he's like, you need to work for me. No, thanks. I'm good. That's crazy that you think that. Because you should never be in a situation where, like, you have to, like, earn someone.
Right.
It's a mutual experience.
Literally, yes.
I just think that's weird.
Halfway, yes.
Humble opinion, I think that's weird.
Like, is this person worth, like, think about it, like, the energy, the time, the, like, pouring into the relationship? Because obviously there is someone out there that is worth it, like, and who will click with you, like, correctly. But if it's someone that's, like, it's not, and you're just, like, wasting your time, it's not, and your money.
I agree. Because it's okay to be like, oh, like, he is, like, so dedicated to his goals, like, I aspire to be like that. But if you're like, oh, like, he's so out of my league, like, so many girls like him, and, like, he barely gives me the time, like, so many girls like him, and, like, he's just, like, he's so nice for liking me. If you feel like he's doing charity by liking you, like, that's a big issue. He should make it seem like he wants to be with you all. Like, if he's with you, he should want to be there. It shouldn't be like, oh, he chose me out of his whole roster. Like, that's so embarrassing.
Why does he have a roster now? Anyways.
What the heck?
Also, I think it's, like, okay, that made me seem super shallow, where it's, like, money. But also, like, emotionally. Like, think emotionally, because it's one thing to be, like, physically, like, together, but to be emotionally. That is so, like, I don't think people understand, like, the actual, like,
the investment
of it, because once you're in there, like, you're in there.
And you shouldn't feel like they're, like, draining you. Like, it shouldn't, you shouldn't be in a relationship where, like, it feels like a chore to be with someone, or, like, it feels like it's, like, taking like years off your life. Like, it shouldn't be like that.
They should be giving you life, not getting
it shouldn't
rid
be,
of
like,
it.
taxing to be with them.
Right. I agree.
I'm so glad.
Imagine I'm like, no. That one.
Oh, I thought. Sorry, I can't read actually, because the question is, why do you want to be with them? And I thought it said, who do you want to be with them? I was like, me probably. Like, why do you want to be with them?
Yeah. If it's for like, okay, why do you want to be with them? If it's just to be like in a relationship,
yeah,
you should like, I don't know, because I've been in that situation where it's just like everyone around me is in a relationship. I want to be in a relationship, but you should just want to be in a relationship with that particular person, not just anybody.
Yeah. I think if you're like, I think this is gonna sound weird, but you just have to hear me out. I think if you're actively like looking to date someone, do you actually want the person that you found?
Right.
Because I feel like the only, like, not the only time, but I feel like the best time to find someone that, like, you truly do like is when you're not focusing on finding someone.
And when you're, like, focusing on yourself and
because when
your
you're
own
actively,
thing.
like, seeking out potential options, that's just, like, you'll just take anyone.
Right.
And I'm just, like, the best out of your options. Like, that's weird. Because
Roster.
imagine hearing that from a guy's point of view. Like, imagine you fall so deeply with this guy and you guys start dating and you're like, why did you like me? Like, why did you approach me? And he's like, well, I just really wanted to be in a relationship with someone and you just seemed like the best, like, option.
That's insane to me. Because it's
What
like,
do you mean by that?
Of course, like, we can understand, like, hey, if this person's lonely and wants to be in a relationship, like, it's a valid feeling.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can't let it, like,
consume you.
Yes. Because when it becomes your life, I think that's, like, kind of crazy.
I agree. Because I feel like that's when you, like, become really codependent on people. Like, when you're actively searching for something, something's missing. Shouldn't have something missing. So if you're, like, begging for your life for a man or, like, for a girlfriend or whatever, that means you're probably missing something within. And when you find someone, they're the one filling that void.
Right.
And you couldn't fill it on your own. So now you're, like, attached to them and you won't let them go. So now you're, like, accepting things you shouldn't be accepting and you're letting them treat you a certain way or you're treating them a certain way that they should not be treated. That's when all the problems start coming in.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Yes.
That's my humble advice.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, would you want someone you love to date someone like them? Or, like, would you want your kid to date someone like them?
Like, okay, hypothetically.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to make this as unbiased as possible. If, like, this dude is, like, let's say this dude, he's, like, just not a very good person.
Yeah, okay.
Very... not popular, but he just gives off that vibe. Very friendly, very flirty. Would you want your daughter around this man?
Yeah.
Like, not him specifically, but, like, someone like him, like a clone.
Yeah.
Do you want your daughter
around him? Would you want
around
him to bring, like, would you want her to bring him home?
Think about that, because that's probably what your mom's thinking. She's probably like, absolutely not.
Or, like, imagine your friend coming up to you and being like, hey, I'm dating this man, but he does all these toxic things and he is not nice to me.
But he's really cute.
Yeah, but he's so sweet. Like, he's so sweet sometimes and he's really cute.
We have good days sometimes.
Yeah. Like, imagine what you're saying to yourself, your friend is saying to you. How crazy is that? How embarrassing is that? Yeah.
Insane. Put it into perspective. Like, see yourself as, like, your friend. Like, genuinely see yourself as your friend and, like, have a sit-down conversation with yourself and be like, do I deserve this kind of treatment?
Yeah.
And would I want my friend, like, someone I know so well, to be treated, like, the same way?
Yeah.
And how would I react to the situation?
Exactly. Even if you look crazy. Like, you gotta sit down with yourself and, like, really work through it. Even if you gotta do it out loud.
Literally.
Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Especially, like, also, this is not, like, this might sound rude, but if you feel like your friends are gonna judge you for being with this person, think about why. Why am I afraid for my friend to meet this person? Why am I afraid to introduce them to my mom?
Why am I afraid to talk about them? Yeah.
Sorry about that. Oopsie daisy. But just, like, there has to be a reason that you're like, something's wrong here. Humble opinion.
Yes. Secret versus private.
Yes. If you want to keep him a secret, it's probably for a reason.
Secrets don't make friends. That's what my dad would always say.
Facts. Okay. How should you be asked? Like, when you're like, do you want to be my girlfriend? Or even going on a date. Because in my opinion, being in my phone, texting me and being like, what you doing tonight? Let's hang. Nope. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. That's not a date. I don't know who you are. I don't know who you're talking to. That's crazy. I also think you should be going on dates before you start dating. If you're talking and he's never taken you out before, your entire relationship lives out of the Instagram DMs. Like, that's so insane. In my opinion, that's just not really my thing.
Yeah, unless there's different circumstances.
Yeah, obviously, you don't live in the same state. Like, what's he gonna do? Or, like, if you guys live, like, 40 minutes away from each other, different high schools, cities apart, and neither of you can drive, then, okay.
Yeah. Also, I just think, like, that's, like, how do I phrase this? I feel like when you're supposed to be asked, like, it should make you feel like this person genuinely wants to be with me and, like, spend time with me. If it's like, hey, like, do you want to, like, just, like, hang out? Like, you need
that does not work.
You need to have a plan.
I agree.
You need to have a plan.
You also need to say things clearly.
Yes.
Want to hang? No, I don't.
Where are we hanging?
Yeah, like from the treetops or what? Like, what are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense.
Be clear. Be so for real. Like, you need like someone who's clear with their intentions.
Yes.
Clear with their intentions. Because if they're not, what are they trying to do?
Exactly.
Why
are they leaving room for you to interpret things? It needs to be like, this is what I'm trying to say.
This is what I want.
Yeah. And if you don't want it, you can say no. If you want it, you say yes.
Yes.
But if he's like leaving room, he's like, oh, like, want to hang? No plan, no time.
I'll do
no
whatever
desire.
You want, and that's like the first thing you guys are doing.
Yeah.
Like,
you have to put some effort into it.
You have to be with someone who's like confident and knows what they want. Unless like you're more of like the planner. Yeah. But at the same time, they have to like put some effort.
I agree. Because like, if he knows you would want to plan it, like if he knows you're a little controlling, that's okay. I'm controlling. So like, it's totally fine if it's specified to you. But if there's no indication that you'd ever want to plan the date and he's just like, hey, what do you want to do? No idea. Like, there's no plan, there's no thought. Like, all he knows is he wants to be around you. Like, that's it. You don't. But
for why?
Yeah. What are you trying to do?
Be for real.
What's the saying out in Taylor? Like, what are you talking about?
Literally.
Same thing with, like, I feel like when he asks you to be his girlfriend, it should be clear that he's asking you. Because if he has, like, a big grand proposal and you're not into that, he's not really asking you. He's just
asking the girl in his head.
Exactly. This has been his plan regardless of who was going to be his girlfriend. But if it's specialized to you, it's like a basket of like it has a poster. Like, it's what you want. He's like, he wants you to be his girlfriend.
Yes.
But if it's just whatever and you don't really like it and he's just like, let's put a label on this. Like, that's not special, babe. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. It's like, it depends on, like, what's going on. And they have to know what kind of person you are. Like you said. Like, if they're, like, giving you flowers and you hate flowers.
Yeah.
What the heck? Personally, I like flowers. Anyways, we've covered this.
Yeah, but like if he's just like he's not putting in the effort, you know, or if you tell him, hey, I want to be asked in this certain way, because I feel like it is something that comes up eventually, like when you ask me to be your girlfriend. Hint, hint, wink, wink. He can't pick up on it. Are you serious? He can't even take a hint. Whatever.
What else can he take?
Facts. Okay. Oh, roles in relationships. Oh. Roles in relationships.
Never chase.
Facts.
Never chase. You guys should not be chasing each other, honestly.
I agree.
Like, unless it's the beginning, but like mutually running together towards the same goal.
I agree. I think also, like, you as a girl should not have to be the man of your relationship. You should not have to be his mom. Like, that's really weird in my opinion.
Yes.
You shouldn't have to, like, coach someone through being your boyfriend. Because even if he's never been in a relationship, even if you've never been in a relationship, he shouldn't have to coach you either. Because if you actually want it to work, you should be asking questions. You should be like, we keep fighting over this. How do we solve this?
Let's communicate.
Yeah. What's going wrong here? What's the trigger that's making us fight all the time? Because if you don't ask questions and you're just like, we fight all the time, it's fine. Do you, like, even want to fix the problem?
Why are we fighting? Why are we fighting?
Yeah.
Right. Wait, what was it?
Roles,
yes. Okay, my thing is with this used to be a problem in the past. Now it's really not. Like in a past relationship. Like paying for things.
Were you the sugar? Like, were you the sugar
I
daddy?
was the sugar daddy, guys. I was with someone who was like, he didn't have a job. It was a very long time ago. He didn't have a job, and I did, but it wasn't even paying that much. But like, he he wouldn't plan dates. Like,
how long time ago are we talking?
Like, over a year ago.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
I gotta know.
Would not plan dates. I would have to beg him to go out.
You said beg.
Not beg. Okay. That's
it's okay.
Because I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what I wanted, and I didn't know what I was worth. But now I do. I would. It was like it was, and when we would go out, I would be paying for it. And like there's a difference between being like, oh, like I love paying like for people, like genuinely. But if I have to, and you're not fighting for the check,
the boyfriend hug. Don't ever do that,
bro. Be so freaking for real. Because when I want to pay, I want to pay.
Yeah, you're pretty dedicated to it.
I am. I'm very proud of that. Like, I just like making people like.
Yeah.
Anyways, but if I have to pay, you don't even open. Like, when me and Mackenzie went out, I see her opening her wallet.
She put it gave down. Me a nasty look. I was like, dang.
Yeah, but it's just like, if I have to pay,
yeah,
and I'm getting like $60 a month for my job. That was when I was teaching piano. I only taught like one student, which is fine. Yeah. But like and I'm paying.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And you don't want to pay?
Yeah. It also comes down to like, if you have the ability to pay and you don't ever want to exercise that,
and then you're flexing your money to everyone else.
Exactly, because that's my thing. If you can't if it's like you're both in high school, both same tax bracket, like you're not making like huge bucks, that's fine if it has to alternate or if you guys don't go out as often, because it's just situational. But if you have the funds to be going out with your friends every weekend, but you can't pay when we go on a date, go date your friend then.
Yeah.
Go date your homeboy, because what the heck? Why are you pampering him and not me? We're dating. You got him
Fortnite V-Bucks and you can't get me a nice freaking meal.
Right. Can't take me out to like just like Cane's, like but you can afford $700 on Genshin. Cane's like you're weird.
Cane's can be cute, bruh. Yes. Like go matching outfits.
Yeah, not pajamas. Not everything has to be expensive
or fancy. Go on a picnic.
Just effort. That really changes the world.
Yes.
For real.
Which is insane that we have to say.
Yeah. I feel like that is like common sense, but not so common anymore, I fear.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Put the effort.
Yeah. Dating rules. First of all, in my opinion, I think you need to tell someone your dating rules before you start dating.
Mm-hmm.
Don't trap them and then be like, you can't do this.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a problem with, like, people going to parties, don't start dating and then be like, you can't go to parties anymore. We're done.
Bruh, like, then you're changing them.
Exactly. You knew they went to parties beforehand. You went through with it to the point of dating. And then once you started dating, you're like, you can't do it anymore.
Unless it's like, they go to a party and there's like, it's dangerous and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't want you to go to them anymore. But if you have that like expectation in your mind, and you don't tell them about it, and they're like, "Why didn't you tell me this before?" They're gonna be blindsided.
If it's in your brain and you already know that you dislike something that they do, and you bring it up after you're official, you clearly didn't want it to change that bad if you didn't bring it up at first.
Because you just wanted to be with them.
I agree.
Not for who they were.
I agree. What are your personal dating rules?
My rules.
Yeah.
It depends on who you're with because like the rules come like naturally.
Yeah.
I guess with how like the day goes, like texting good morning and stuff. Whoever wakes up first, it's not on one person unless that person is usually up first. Or like calling and updating each other. I think that's important. But like rules, I would say like me, like, my rule is for myself, like, if I'm like, okay, this is kind of hard to explain, but if I get into a situation with a guy and it's like, I first, like, I think, like, what would I want my boyfriend to do in this situation?
Okay, fair enough.
Like, because there was this.
Really love speaking from experience.
And it curses me. It bites me back in the butt. This person added me on Snapchat. And I was like, I was talking about it with a friend, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna add them back. I was like, just because, like, if my boyfriend were to get, like,
oh yeah,
you know, like, someone added them back or added them in the same, like, situation as I was with that person that added me back, I wouldn't want him to add them back.
Okay.
Because if I'm just like, hey, like, or just any situation, I have to think, like, hey, what would I want my partner to do? Like, what do I, what, like, my actions have to respect, like, myself, him, and our relationship.
I agree. I think.
Ow. Oh, I just hit my hand.
I think personal dating rule, this is more of like, because I'm in high school still, I can't do like the whole like I meet you first week of school and then we're dating by like November. That's really crazy in my opinion. If I haven't known you for at least 3 months and you're already calling me your girlfriend, that's so fast in my opinion. In my opinion. Because we're in high school, okay?
Mm-hmm.
There are so many things that like you need to learn about a person, especially when they're in high school, because high schoolers are so like sporadic and there's so many things going on up here that like will change and develop as you like are with them. Because like you're not like really developed all the way up here until you're like grown. So I feel like in high school you have to know someone like pretty well. And I feel like if you can't say you were friends for like at least a month before you like even started liking each other,
yeah,
in my opinion,
and you have to know yourself. You have to know yourself first, because I think that's also, it has become a rule of mine because I see how bad it is, how bad it affects me. But like, you have to know yourself and have a solid like friend group and like a solid like routine for your life before you can add someone else into it.
I agree.
Because then that's what we were talking about earlier, like changing things around. And also another rule of mine would be like boundaries and like space.
Yeah. I think kind of adding on, I feel like you should have space for someone in your life before they get there. Like I feel like you shouldn't be like rearranging everything to fit another thing in.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're too busy to have like a partner, because obviously if you like someone enough, you'll make time, blah blah blah. But if it's like literally like a task to be able to like make enough time for your significant other, maybe you just need to like step back for a second, or you need to like drop one of your other hobbies or something else. Like you need to just,
you need to weigh out what's important to you.
You shouldn't be like overwhelmed by life because you have hobbies and a significant other.
They should be lifting that thing off.
Like they should be promoting your lifestyle. It shouldn't be like dragging it down and like all of a sudden like you have no energy and you're like you don't have enough time to sleep. Yeah. Like you should be able to live your like day consistently through without like running out of time for certain things.
Yeah, personally, I agree. And I think like with another rule is like prioritizing.
I agree.
Like if I can't pick time for a person or we're both busy, we're like, hey, let's call on this day at this time and let's have this many hours like to talk to each other and stuff like that. Because you have to make time to still maintain your relationship.
I agree.
Maintenance.
I also think this is just like timeline wise, if you're getting with someone, they shouldn't have been in a relationship in the last 3 months. Because if you get with someone, right? You're like, oh, when was your last relationship? 2 months ago. Oh, how long were you with them? 6 months. You got over a 6-month relationship in a month?
Insane.
Like, that's crazy. Like, I feel like you have to have time to move on. Even if you're past a relationship, you're like, okay, the breakup, like, I'm satisfied with the way it went down, like, that's fine. You should have time between relationships to be your own person.
Right.
Because I don't want to be dating the person that was dating her. Like, you should not be the exact same as when you were in a relationship with her. Because if it didn't work out with her, it's probably not going to work out with me.
And you should know, like, because it's, like, understandable, like, with certain situations. Like, if it was a bad situation, like, for me, that's easier to get over.
Yeah.
Like, if you did me wrong, bye, I'm done. I'm moving on. I'm continuing on with my life. But if it was, like, a genuinely, like, good relationship.
Yeah, especially if it was long. Because in my opinion, month talking stage, or like you liked someone for a month and whatever, I think that's fine. There was nothing there. Like, you guys were talking. Like, that's fine. But I think if you were, like, in a genuine relationship for, like, a long time, and in my opinion, like, long time is, like, anything over 4 months. If you were in that relationship for, like, more than 4 months and you are already over it, like, a week later, why were you in a relationship for that long if you could cope that quickly?
Yeah.
Were you just there because you had to be, or what?
Right. Yeah.
I got a notification from YouTube. Sorry.
For the podcast.
Anyways, posting each other. How do you feel about, like, is that, I don't know how to word it. Is that, like, a requirement for you?
I would say so. Because what the
I
heck?
agree.
Because what the heck? Yeah, that is definitely a requirement for me because, I can't tell everyone, like, one-on-one, like, especially after going to college, I can't text everyone unless they're, like, really important to me. Hey, I have a boyfriend now. This is who they are. Or, like, I'm talking to someone. Or, like, hey, I have a crush on someone. Pause. I'm not posting my crush on Instagram.
That's a liking.
That's
no.
A no-no.
Don't do
That's
that.
A no-no. Do not do that. But with dating, it's like, honestly, you have to post and, like, have some sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because there's people you can't talk to and tell. And I want people to know that. Hey, I have a boyfriend, so.
I agree. I also think, specifically, like, in school, I think it's important to want to, like, post each other because, especially, like, at the school that she went to and I currently go to, it's very normal to follow people you don't know, like, if they just go to our school.
Yeah.
But a lot of people will tend to follow people that they think are attractive or that they want to get to know.
Yeah.
So if there are people lurking in your following waiting to pounce on you, and then, like, you post a picture, you look really good, and while we're together, no one knows, all of a sudden people are in your DMs like, hey, that's weird. So I feel like you should post, because then now it clears up confusion.
Yeah.
Anyone that thought they had a chance knows that it's gone now, in a respectful way. Like, you don't have to be like, oh, I have a girlfriend. They see it from...
If they have to ask...
I agree.
Unless it's, like, in person, like, hey, do you have a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Right. Normal.
But if they have to text you on Instagram and you're talking to them, do you have a
social media presence and they don't even know? Especially if you post. If you post more than once a month and it's not your girlfriend...
Freaking... What the heck is it? Games or football?
It's your Valorant stats? Like, bruh, like, just post her.
Not the Valorant stats.
There's no point.
Because it's like, there's a difference between, like, oh, I post, like, sports and my girlfriend. Yeah. If you're just posting sports...
I agree. Also, the whole, like, I don't even post that much. Like, it doesn't make sense for me to post you. That's not an excuse in my humble opinion.
It's not. Because you can still, like, not be on Instagram that much and still post.
Because even if you're not on Instagram that much, when you are on it, what's happening?
Yeah.
You're just texting the ladies back, or, like, what? Like, why are you hiding me?
You're texting the garden hose.
Yeah, sorry. Like, who are you talking to that it's, like, such an issue for people to know you have a girlfriend?
Right. Because why is it an issue?
Now you're hiding me.
Literally!
So, I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
Especially if you're in college or high school where you're meeting so many new people all the time. Especially if you're, like, a cool person. People are bound to, like you or think you're cute or whatever. So if you're specifically keeping that fact that you have someone off the internet, you like the attention. And that's just the truth.
I think it also reflects, like, how much you want to be in the relationship and how much faith you have in it.
I agree.
If you don't post, oh, you don't see me in your future.
Yeah.
Or you're not committed to me.
Exactly. Like, what if we break up? Why is that your first thought when I'm asking you to post me? We've been together for 2 months and you're like, we're gonna break up. I can't. Then break up now. Like, if you're so worried about it, just end it here.
Yeah. Because if you're so worried about, like, your page and what people think of you, then I don't know. I personally don't like people that are like, oh, I'm not on Instagram that much, or like.
I agree. Because
these are the times we live in, people.
I know you have the app on your phone, though. It's not deleted. You're not deactivated. So
if it doesn't matter to you, then like, delete it.
Yeah. If you're never on it, oh, I never use Instagram, then delete it.
You're done.
Save storage.
I'm helping you out.
Yeah. Now you have more room for other apps, for your other games that apparently you're on all the time. Right. Like what?
Valorant Mobile. Does that exist?
I don't think so. I don't think there's a way that Valorant Mobile exists. Fortnite Mobile.
They got rid of it on Apple Store. Yes.
Are we like boomers? Like, why do we not know it's online? What's a mobile game? Is Call of Duty a mobile game? I feel like it is.
It should be. Subway Surfers?
The story times? That's so funny. Anyways.
That's what you think of?
Yes! Guys, have you seen that like website? You can copy and paste like a piece of text and it'll make a Subway Surfers video for you.
Really?
I'm so dead serious. It will like have the AI read it over like a already existing like Subway Surfers video or like parkour like Minecraft video. They'll just put the sound over it.
The heck?
I've seen it. People use it to study. Like they'll put in like
no way.
Like, they'll put in like their textbook and they'll just like listen to it while like Subway Surfers.
Is this what we've become?
Unfortunately, it is. Anyways, that's actually not what we're talking about. So, log back in.
Will you be my girlfriend? Subway Surfers.
No! Would you accept that?
No.
Good. That's crazy.
Because I'd be like, I wouldn't even hear them.
You'd be so locked in on the video?
Yeah.
I feel like that's funny, but like it can't be like the actual way.
It can't be serious.
Me. No. Maybe if you asked me like that day and then we come home from the date and then you send me the video, I'd laugh.
Yes.
But that can't be the main focal point of you asking me.
No.
Anyways.
Back to the main thing.
What is the bare minimum?
Because people get confused with it nowadays. Yeah.
Some of you guys, it's really bare. it's not even there at some points. Some of you guys will let a lot slide.
Very bare.
Yeah.
Yes. Texting back.
I agree. I feel like the worst part is about like saying what's the bare minimum is like I'll say it and someone will be like, no, but like that's such a green flag. Who hurt you? Because what do you mean? I'm like, oh, like yeah, like I feel like walking to class together if your class is in the same direction is like bare minimum. They're like, no, but like he's with his friends. You guys can't all walk together? Like
that is so funny.
I feel like that's just bizarre. I think walking to class is the bare minimum in my opinion. If your class is in the same direction, because our school is like 3 blocks wide. If you're in opposite directions, I'd be like, just go. Just go to class.
Yeah.
I don't even care. But if our class is in the same building and you're like, nah. Okay.
Bare minimum.
I'm trying to think.
Me too. Okay, are getting flowers the bare minimum nowadays?
In my opinion, it is.
And
if my boyfriend doesn't agree, he's not my man, because that's crazy.
I don't claim him.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel like getting flowers like every single month, like no job, like you're scrounging up the change, that's not bare minimum. But I feel like just like getting it for like important events, like if you have like a show bringing you something, that's bare minimum in my opinion.
I think it's sweet. It's sweet.
I agree.
But bare minimum.
I think if your girlfriend or your boyfriend, because I think getting flowers for guys is just equally as cute.
I think so.
If your partner expresses, hey, I have a show and I like flowers, piece it together, be like, wow, I should probably get them flowers.
I have a crazy story.
Oh no, I don't want to hear it. Go ahead.
I love sharing experiences.
Go ahead.
I was with someone who would show up. Sorry, I'm playing with my hair. It looks really bad. Okay, when they'd come to my shows, they would not bring flowers and they would not say, oh, you did a good job or anything like that. They would talk about something else. Like, they wouldn't even, like, congratulate me or say you did a good job. Which is embarrassing for me. And second, when they couldn't come to the show, they wouldn't wish me good luck or ask me about it.
that's bare minimum, in my opinion. Even, like, just being like, hey, good luck, like, I hope you do well, I hope the show goes well. Or, like, break a leg, whatever. That is bare minimum.
Stop.
Do you not think it is?
No, because my...
Oh, no. I'm scared. Every time Raylan has a story, it just,
No,
I get a chill.
No, wait. Hold on, guys. I do watch them. No, like I buy them online.
That's fine.
Sorry, guys.
No, that totally fit.
No, I thought I was like a terrible person for a second.
I think like bare minimum, like at the least, you should be saying good luck.
Yes.
Like, I feel like going out of your way to watch it, like, that's great. Like, finding somewhere you can watch it, that's great. But I think if you're not even saying good luck, like, that's crazy.
Insane. That's insane. Or like you don't remember, or you're not like,
yes.
Hey, isn't this today?
Yeah. What the frick?
What the frick? You don't love me.
Also, it applies specifically to if you have the ability to go and you're choosing not to. Because if you're like, if you have the ability to go and you're like, no, and I'm not saying good luck.
You don't care. You don't care.
Love me. Like, what the heck? You hate me. Actually, matter of fact. I just heard you gulp really loud.
No, it wasn't loud. Sorry, guys. This is becoming an ASMR podcast. Okay, I'm good. I'm gonna stop.
Guys, do you like ASMR? Yes or no? Comment down below.
Comment down below. We'll do an Should we do an ASMR podcast episode?
No, we should not. Whisper? We can't whisper. We're so loud.
That's very true. We were just like...
we actually like scream sometimes.
Yeah, into the microphone.
Well, I don't remember which mic check we were doing, but I think it was one of the earlier episodes we were doing a mic check, and we laughed so hard that like it genuinely made our mics crackle and like we're like screaming.
That was the first time we had them.
Yeah.
I think. And then I had to...
I never realized how loud we were until we did the episode with Max, and I had to like shove the mic in his face because we couldn't hear him. Oh. But continue. Literally when we're talking, we have to like hold it out here, but then for Max, I was like shoving it in his face, and he still wasn't like audible.
Right.
Sorry if we're really loud, guys.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Let's get to the last 2 points before her phone dies.
Yes. Because I charged the mics, but not my phone.
Okay, communication. What does that look like for your specific situation? This is coming from 2 different walks of life, college and high school.
Yes. College is very busy. Classes, friends, events, your major, homework. You have to communicate when you're doing certain things. Because if you don't, like, they're just, like, left in the dark. And I think, because it's, like, if you have a set expectation and you don't voice this, like, I've done this in the past. Like, if I have an expectation and then, like, I don't tell him about it and he's out somewhere, I'm, like, upset because I'm, like, I expected that we were going to call and stuff like that. Even though I knew he was going out, but I didn't tell him my expectation. Yeah. Like, telling each other your expectations, like, when you're missing each other. Because that dictates a lot of how, like, you talk to each other and how, like, your emotional state. And also, communicating how you're feeling with certain things is very important. Not even, like, it doesn't even have to regard the relationship. Tell them about your classes, how you're feeling about classes, your friends, your living situation, because that can, or like girls, your period, because that has been such a factor in like my relationship, because it's like you need to tell them every single bit, because if you don't, they're like, oh, why are you all of a sudden mad at me? Then you're like,
this is not an excuse for men to be like, oh, you're PMSing.
Right. Don't take advantage of that. But if it's like, if they're like, oh, why are you mad at me now? I'm like, oh, I'm like dealing with this, and this. And it'll be like, I wish I knew that, because then also I'm really bad at communicating sometimes, so I can't even speak on this. But the guy I'm with is really good at communicating. I'm not. It's something I'm working on. But yeah, because I think it's important to tell each other like literally everything, especially if you're in a relationship and you want to grow with them.
I think I like obviously agree with all that. I think that's applicable to high school too. Obviously on a smaller scale, because like you're probably not like on the other side of the country from the person, but if you are, listen to her advice. But I feel like in high school, one of the biggest things is like communicating when you can't do something. Because I feel like in high school, since we're closer to each other, you have higher expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we go to the same school. Why aren't you coming to my basketball game? Or why
Mm-hmm.
can't you come to my show or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like just being like, hey, I'm not going to have a ride like for this many weeks. We can't go out.
Right.
Or like, oh, I'm at my mom's house, so I'm further from the school and I can't
Mm-hmm.
come to your show or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just being like, hey, this is a situation currently. This is what's going on in my life.
Circumstances.
Yeah. I feel like that's the worst part in high school because
mm-hmm.
since you go to the same school and since you guys are around each other so often, you expect them to just always be at like your beck and call. But there are some certain circumstances where you just can't be. Like,
Right.
hey, my car's in the shop. I can't drive. So
Yeah.
I'm going to get to school later, or I'm not going to be able to drive you after school or whatever. I can't give you a ride. Like, just being like, hey, this is what's happening. This is why it won't work.
Yeah. Because you shouldn't wait for them to get mad and then be like, oh, well, this was happening.
Yeah.
Well, I wish I knew that. I wouldn't have gotten mad in the first place.
Because if you text them, like, if your partner texts you, hey, like, should we go on a date this Friday? Then all of a sudden you're like, no, I can't. And they're like, oh, like, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to explain the whole situation.
Yeah.
But if you would have just told them the beginning of the week, like, hey, I know this is already going to happen. We can't be, like, I can't see you this Friday.
Yeah.
Or I can't see you this weekend. Mm-hmm. Then they'll already know and they won't have to, like, build the expectation of wanting you to come. And then they, like, get shut down in the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very true.
Final topic, because we're about to hit an hour.
Yes.
And our phone's going to die. And there's a big topic. So,
yeah.
Okay. Right person, wrong time, question mark. Does it exist? What does it mean? What does it entail? What's up?
This one's such a big one to unpack. There can be a right person. Like, I feel like there's not one episode that goes by that I don't, like, mess up my words. There can be, like, a right person, and they can be for you at the right time, but eventually, if you're growing out of them, then it's just not.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But also, right person, wrong time entails, like, oh, they were, like, the person for you, but the circumstances were not it. Which I don't know if I believe in that, because I feel like with the right person, you're going to adjust, and you're going to make time for them to fit into your life, and find the right time for them.
I personally, I don't think it exists, because even
really,
I really don't, because I feel like if you're in a relationship with someone, it's going so strong. You've been together a year, maybe 2, and then all of a sudden it crumbles. You guys break up. It's messy. It's nasty. You thought you were gonna marry this person, and it crumbles. And then 5 years down the road, you meet this amazing guy at your internship, and you guys get married and you have a beautiful family. There was no wrong time, because that you were meant to break up at that point. There was more waiting for you. I feel like you shouldn't. I feel like the idea of right person, wrong time confines you to a box that you are only able to be loved by certain people, and that diminishes your self-value. And I think to say that, like, is saying that there's no one left that's going to love you the way that that person loved you. When in reality, there are so many people left in the world.
That's good. That's good. I'm a very much optimistic person. I'm like, let's make it right.
Yeah. But I think there are some people that can come back, but I feel like also to say wrong timing, like, suggests that it was like a waste of time. Or like it just like, oh, like all that effort we put in and it was still wrong. Like, I feel like there's a benefit to everything that happens, even if it's not immediately afterward.
Yeah. And it shouldn't be your excuse to, like, hold out on things.
Yeah.
Or, like, see that relationship in a better light. Because if it was just a bad relationship, you should say that it was. Because that right person was just, like, the wrong person at that specific time.
Yeah. And I think it's obviously okay to have, like, an ex that, like, wow, I really did love them, and that relationship was really good for me, and I felt really happy in it. But it also, you shouldn't be like, oh, like, so hung up on one person for the rest of your life. Because there are more people. You're going to meet more people.
And you have to grow and become
I feel like if you're stuck on the person that you loved when you were, like, 16, you're never going to grow out of the mindset of when you were 16. Because now you're expecting to be treated that exact same way. When in reality, as you get older, you need more. Like,
and you need different things.
Yeah. Like, you're not going to be the same 10 years later.
Yeah.
And you're not going to need the same things 10 years later.
Yeah. Because you need a family. If you want a family,
you
need a good situation. But with, like, when you're a teenager, you're like, oh, I just want to see where this goes. Like, and potentially marry them. But in the future, it's like, dang, I really need to, like, lock in.
Just because some things, like, worked in high school or at college, like, doesn't mean that it's going to work, like, when you're, like, 35 and you're, like, paying bills and, like, buying your own house. Like, some relationships are meant to only happen during certain periods of your life. Like, some teenage relationships, like, some of them are only working because you're teenagers.
Yeah.
Especially in high school, like, if you weren't going to school together every day, would this realistically work out?
Right. Circumstances.
Yeah. I think that's also a big factor of why you think certain people are the right people.
Yeah.
Because you were in the right circumstance for them to, like, work.
Yes. Yeah. Valid. And then when those circumstances go away, you're like, oh, yeah. Wait, why am I with them?
Yeah, I feel like that's why a lot of couples that are, like, in high school and then they break up in college, like, right person, wrong time. No. It was just, it worked when it worked and it doesn't work anymore.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's life.
I agree.
Exactly.
I also don't think anyone just has, like, one right person. There's so many people in the world. You could probably marry, like, at least 10 of them.
Stop! No, I don't want to think that. I don't know how to feel about that. I feel like we're so different. I feel like there's definitely not, like, one person for you. But, like, because so many different people. It just, like, I don't know how to explain it.
I feel like there's obviously a best case scenario. Like, out of all of the people that you would be possibly compatible with, there is a smaller group that you would be best with. But I don't think that there's, like, some small rare breed that would, like you would ever make it to marriage with. There are just some relationships that will be a little bit happier. Some people that you'll be a little bit more, like, satisfied with your marriage with.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Anyways.
What a productive episode.
Very productive.
Really long episode.
Yes. But that is it on Dating 101. We will be back in, like, 2-3 weeks. Yeah.
Guys, we said we were going to film a lot over summer so we could upload it while we were at school, and then we didn't.
We did not.
So we're going to try to maybe film, like, 2 over winter break.
Yes. And we'll space it out.
Yeah.
So you guys are fed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe 3 if we get crazy. 3
if we risk it.
Yeah. Yes. How long are you here? A month?
3 weeks.
Oh yeah, because you go to 3 weeks, 1 episode per week.
Yes. Anyways, okay. Bye, guys. We hope you enjoyed.
And I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah. And have a good Christmas. Actually, we should probably post during Christmas. Holidays.
I feel like we could post this one now. Or
so
soon. And then we'll film one toward the beginning of winter break.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And hold us accountable. If you know us, text us, be like, when's the next episode?
Where's the next episode? Yeah. And we're on it.
And then we'll actually remember to film it.
Yes. Bye.